Bueno, para esta parte del vídeo voy a hablar en inglés porque vamos a hablar del sílabo, de los expectativos, del currículum y todo eso. Entonces, para esta parte sí en inglés, pero para el resto de la clase, español. Esta es una clase de español. Hay dos metas, dos metas principales para esta clase. Mejorar el español, ¿no? Improve, mejorar el español y también aprender de la lingüística. Y para hacer esto es necesario que todos hablemos en español. Pero bueno, for this part of the class, I will present the expectations and the grading scheme and everything like that. We'll do that in English, but afterwards, nothing but Spanish. This is a Spanish class, so that is how you improve. That is how you improve in your Spanish skills, is by listening, speaking, etc. And so that of course is also a main focus of the class. But we're off to a very odd start to the semester, of course, with the first 5 weeks being online. So it's not an ideal start to the course, but I think that we will make do. Again, if you follow everything in the modules for each day and follow the course calendar, you will be all right. You won't miss anything. So what do you need right away? You need the course pack, which I sent to you in an email. So everybody has the course pack and access to our Canvas site. That's all that you need. Those are the only materials that you need for this class. A quick reminder, you do have a homework already coming up next Monday. So in a week from today, if you're watching this on Monday. So for the homeworks, I am going to have you work on those in groups. Now, if we were meeting face-to-face, I would not allow you to work on homeworks in groups. They would have to be done individually. So this is kind of my gift to you since we are online, since we are in this non-ideal format. Is that you get to work on those with your classmates. And I realize that you're missing a lot of that collaboration. You're missing the opportunity to ask a lot of questions and have confusion clarified and just to work together in class. We're missing that component. And so to make up for that component, that is why I've assigned you to work in groups for the homework. So I think it will make the homeworks a lot easier, and it will also give you a sense of collaboration, a sense of community, and to fill in any knowledge gaps and confusion that you may have. So I hope that kind of helps to make up for that missing classwork. And we're also doing conversation interviews, so to help you to get some of that speaking in that you're missing in the classroom. And then the written discussions as well will hopefully keep you connected with your classmates. I feel that is important. No one wants to feel isolated. It can feel isolating in an online classroom, and so I'm doing my best to keep us together in the best way, in the most collaborative way possible. So what else? Let's go on and just talk about the class. What do we need? So make sure you've read through the syllabus completely. I wouldn't worry about the oral report part of that. That's not for a while, but everything else in the syllabus, make sure to read through that. And the course calendar and the modules, again, every class day, check the course calendar. Everything that you need to do for that day is within that day's slot on the calendar. Excuse me. And then go into our modules where there will be a supplemental video, like the one you're watching now, and the conversation interview, a link to that, and a link to the discussion, and a link to whatever else you may have to do for that day. So again, complete all the content within today's module. So what are the goals for this course? We're going to gain a basic understanding of the theory. How is it that we look at language differently from the way that other people look at language? What do we do as linguists, as opposed to simply an English major, or someone who studies languages more generally, or even someone who studies pedagogy, which is second language learning, which is sort of tied in to linguistics, but it's also very, very different. So specifically in this class, we'll be looking at morphology, syntax, phonetics, and phonology. Those will be the four main subcamps of linguistics that we will look at, and we'll talk about what all those are. So of course, I'll be looking for critical thinking and contextual understanding within your assignments and within your quizzes. We will be learning to analyze linguistic data and represent those analyses formally. So we will be formulating hypotheses regarding what we see and what we don't see within the Spanish language, and formulating hypotheses, which are basically, those are the rules that we're formulating, or the rules that we write in this class are hypotheses about how our brains work, our hypotheses about how our language, how Spanish is organized within our brains. And of course, improving Spanish will especially focus on Spanish pronunciation. So phonetics and phonology, these two branches look at how the sound patterns of Spanish and how the sounds group together. And of course, there are sounds in English that are not in Spanish, and there are sounds in Spanish that are not in English. So we'll be taking a much deeper look at sounds. And of course, just better understanding the forms and functions of Spanish. And to do that, we really do have to do some comparisons. To gain any understanding of a language, it's necessary, it's crucial to make comparisons between that language to other languages so we can see what is it that Spanish has in common with other languages and how is it that Spanish differs. So we will occasionally look at Italian and Portuguese and French and English and do some comparisons between Spanish and those other languages. I do want to note, however, that this is not a Spanish language course. It is a Spanish linguistics course, and there actually is a very big difference. In Spanish language courses, the entire focus is proficiency, right? It's reading and writing and speaking and grammar and vocabulary and all of those components. This class is very different from a Spanish language class. We do not focus on specifically, we don't focus on those other elements that you've seen in a language class. So our goal is to learn about Spanish linguistics. That being said, improving your Spanish skills will result organically from the readings. All of the readings are in Spanish. My lectures, my videos will all be in Spanish. Your discussions are in Spanish. Group work should be in Spanish. And we will do 2 boomerang conversations, which more info to come. You don't have one of those until the middle of October, and they're only 15-minute. You'll have 2 15-minute conversations, not super time-consuming, but we'll talk later. It's a website that you will use to get in contact with a native speaker and just have a casual conversation. And I hope that you will talk to them about their language and about their dialect. But we'll get into that. However, improving your Spanish skills is not what the curriculum focuses on. It is not what the agenda focuses on. So if you are looking for a course that primarily focuses on your language skills, this is probably not the course for you. However, as already mentioned, the best way to acquire a language is to simply be around it and absorb it. And so your Spanish language skills will definitely improve in this class, but it's important to note that that's not what the curriculum focuses on. This is a content course versus a language course. So just something to mention, something to think about, and hopefully this is the right place for you. I mean, I think linguistics is fascinating. I love teaching this class. This is my favorite class to teach, and I hope that you will embrace and enjoy the journey with me. And so my best analysis, or analogy I should say, is when students take a linguistics course in English, their primary goal is not improving their English language skills. Their primary goal is learning about linguistics. And so this course should be viewed in the same way. Yes, your language skills will improve, but it is not the focus. Moving on. So what is expected from you? Comunicar en español claro todo el tiempo. Y que ustedes sean activos en el salón de clase y también en línea. So stay active in class. Just because we're online doesn't mean that we're not all here trying to learn together. So that means on your written discussions in particular, pay attention to those, take those seriously. Try to respond meaningfully to your classmates for your homeworks. Of course, try to be an active collaborator. There will always be a little bit, I'm sure, of hesitance and confusion for everyone while you do some of these homeworks, but try to work through it. You will learn a lot, and don't be shy and don't be afraid. So reading, that's super important. If you don't read, you will fall behind. I don't cover everything in these videos, but you are responsible for knowing all of that information that is in your book. So be responsible for your own learning, of course. Complete assignments by due dates, etc., etc. Follow the course calendar and modules. I've been stressing these a lot. What will I do? I will provide prompt feedback on assignments, on your homeworks, on your discussions, on your conversation quizzes. And I'll provide video lessons, extra practice, and PowerPoints to supplement the readings. And I'm also available from 10 to 10 to 4 every day. I've got that 6-hour chunk that I plan to be working, so shoot me an email, shoot me a text, and we will meet. I check my email and I check my phone very frequently for these types of messages. So how does the grading work? Well, this is all in the syllabus, so I'm going to, and we will talk very briefly about all of these components. But again, all assignments are listed in the course calendar, and you need to follow this daily. So just work through the module material, and everything graded that you need to do will be located therein. So your homeworks due at midnight, the day they are assigned. Again, you already have one on Monday, so get together with your group on Canvas. In the discussions, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, I'm sorry if I didn't. So within the discussions tab on Canvas, you will see discussions for collaboration on homework 1. You have already been assigned a homework group. You have 3 or 4 people to work with. And so get on that discussion and let them know, get on there, I would say right away, right now, get on there and tell your group members, introduce yourself and tell your group members how you are available to meet and what times and days, etc. work for you so that you can meet at some point before Monday and work together on this homework. And then when you're ready to do your homework, you will click the Collaborations tab in Canvas and click on Homework 1. It is a Google Doc, so all of your group members will have access to that document, and you get in there and can make changes together and do this while working together is the idea. So you will have 6 homeworks total, and they are always due the last day that the chapter is listed in the schedule. They're found in the Modules tab on Canvas. Actually, that's not true. They are now found in the Collaborations tab, as I just explained. And you've already been assigned a group. There's a discussion within the Discussion tab to get in contact with your group for every homework that you have. Participation in that discussion is not mandatory. It's just a way to put you in contact with your group members. Participation in the written discussions over the readings are mandatory and are for a grade. So I will return those with feedback, thoroughness, and accuracy. So I'm not really looking so much for grammar, like noun, adjective, agreement, stuff like that is not going to be a component of your homework grades. Your homework grades are content-based. That being said, if your grammar and vocabulary is full of errors to the point to which I can't really understand what you're saying, then then you're going to lose some points because of grammar and vocabulary. But content is really the important thing on the homeworks and the quizzes as well. So your quizzes are going to be very, very similar to the homework. So if you feel comfortable with the homework, you will do fine on the quizzes, I promise. So there are 5 total, 1 for each chapter of equal weight, and they're always the class after you have a homework. So once we get through this first chapter, you'll see that the format is identical for this course all the way through. So the class after we finish a chapter, you'll get in the quizzes tab and do the quiz on the due date. And it will be very similar to the homework, but it might include a little bit of additional information that we will have covered on the last day, but you'll see. And the quizzes, unlike the homeworks, they are to be completed individually. And I will know if there is a significant overlap between your quiz and a classmate's quiz. Those overlaps stick out like a sore thumb. Please do not make me file an academic dishonesty report. I really don't want to do it. I've had to do it in the past. It's just tedious and uncomfortable, and I have to give zeros to those students, but I will do it. Cheating definitely is not something that I accept, so do not work together on the quizzes. And homeworks are excellent preparation. The Canvas discussion participation these are over the readings, before most classes, except on quiz days or practice and presentation days. There are a couple of exceptions, but most class days, any class day that you have a reading, except for quiz days, you won't have a reading or you will have a reading on quiz days, but you won't have a discussion. Before most class days, you'll have a written discussion on Canvas. Now, once you have done one of these, you will know how to do all of the rest of them. They're based on the reading for the day. So there are lots of goals for the discussion: to learn from your classmates' understanding of important concepts, to learn from classmates' responses to your own as well as others' posts, and coming to class or watching the videos or going into the homework with some of these clarifications already addressed will make much better use of time. And of course, to practice communicating meaningfully in Spanish. And finally, to alert me of your overall comprehension of the day's reading. Since we are online, I pay very, very close attention to the discussions, and I will respond, and I will answer your questions.